Hello, today I'll be talking about a break-even graph and a break-even analysis. So let's begin off with the x and the y-axis. So on this graph, this is a break-even graph. The x-axis would be the quantity, while the y-axis would be the cost or the revenue. The total revenue line is the green line right here, and it stands for the overall measure of a company's income, including its sales for a given period of time. This number is not the same as the profits or the earnings of the company. Total revenue is also price multiplied by the quantity. As you can see, this green line is the total revenue line. Next off is the total cost line. The total cost line is the red line, which represents the fixed cost plus the average variable costs multiplied by the quantity of that, this is the red line. So this is the total cost line. And moving on, the fixed cost line. The blue dotted horizontal line is the fixed cost line, which represents the costs that don't change in relation to the production, to the output of the production. Moving on to the break-even point, which is right here. The break-even point is the coordinate on the break-even graph, which has an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. And the x-coordinate is the break-even quantity, while the y-coordinate is the break-even revenue. The break-even point is generally the point where gain equals to loss. So what is the break-even revenue? The break-even revenue is the y value of the break-even point, which is the revenue where it covers the fixed and the variable costs exactly. The break-even quantity, this would be the x-coordinate of the break-even point. It is the amount of units of products that needs to be sold in order to reach the revenue that cancels out the cost. So the margin of safety, right here. This is the area of the break-even graph where it is between the target profit and the break-even point. The difference between the output of an expected or target level of demand and the break-even quantity. Just to clarify that the margin of safety is not a monetary value but a quantity. At this point in time, the graph margin of safety would be right here, this area. So what is the profit? Profit is basically the money earned after the break-even point. So this is the break-even point. Anything after here, this area would be profit. As for loss, anything before this break-even point would be loss. So this area right here. So basically the change in price as the price decreases, the break-even point moves more to the right, as you can see, which means that the break-even revenue and the break-even quantity increases. Also, the total revenue line becomes more flat. The margin of safety becomes smaller, also lower amounts of profit. As the price is increased, the break-even point moves more to the left. See if the increase. Oh, see, it's moved more to the left, which means that the break-even revenue and the break-even quantity decreases. Also, the total revenue line becomes more steep as the margin of safety becomes larger. Also, there are higher amounts of profit or a lower amount of loss. Change in fixed costs. As the fixed costs are increased, the total cost line vertically translates up, the break-even point moves more to the right, and the margin of safety decreases. And also a lower amount of profit. As the fixed costs are decreases, however, the total cost line vertically translates down, the break-even point moves more left, and the margin of safety increases, and also a higher amount of profit or a lower amount of loss. Change in average variable costs. As the average variable cost increases, the break-even point moves more to the right, the margin of safety decreases, or there might not even be a margin of safety at this point in time, and the profit decreases and possibly becomes a loss. And also the total cost line becomes steeper. As the average variable cost decreases, the break-even point moves more to the left, the margin of safety increases, and the profit increases or loss decreases. And also the total cost line becomes more flat. Moving on to an example, we might say. So here it is. For this example, will be Charter Bus Services offers travelers transport from Yuen Long to the Hong Kong airport and from the airport central. Their financial consultant estimated that the fixed cost per week is $400, and they have decided to charge each customer $32 per journey. The variable costs of each trip are $7. So let's check the break-even quantity. Break-even quantity is when the total revenue equals to the total costs. And 32Q would be 32 times the quantity. 32 equals the price. As for the other side, on the right side, would be the variable cost adding the fixed costs. So in total, after calculations, the break-even quantity would be 16 customers. As for the break-even revenue, $32 multiplied by 16 customers would equal 512 Hong Kong dollars. The margin of safety calculated would be the target level of output subtracted by a break-even level. So it would be 95 minus 16, because of the 95 target level of output customers minus the break-even level of 16 customers. So the margin of safety would be 79 customers. So the profit and loss at 15 customers would equal to the total revenue minus the total costs. So therefore it would be 32 times 15 minus 7 times 15 plus 400, which would be the fixed costs. So in the end, the profit and loss at 15 customers would be 775 Hong Kong dollars, while the profit and loss at 95 customers would be equal to the total revenue minus the total cost. Therefore, it would be 1,975 Hong Kong dollars. Thank you. This is my break-even broadcast. I'll see you next time.